Our Peru travel series started in Lima. Then we flew to Cuzco and then Puerto Maldonado, then back to Cuzco and then onwards to Arequipa. This time, rather than flying Star Peru, we flew TACA Airlines, the other major airline. We did that because of scheduling requirements, as it was Christmas Day that we left for Arequipa. Once again, the background music is supplied by Manuel Macias, so take it away, Manuel. Cuzco Airport is only about 10 minutes drive from the town centre, and the flight time from Cuzco to Arequipa is about 45 minutes. So leaving at 9 AM, we would have a full day enjoying the sights of Arequipa. Arequipa International Airport is 8 kilometres from the city centre, and being Christmas, we were welcomed by Santa and his colleagues. A nice touch. But the biggest surprise of all was that my reputation for wearing jandals or thongs had reached South America. Our pickup guide proudly held up our name board. A casual glance at the public transport capacity didn't give us much confidence in using it. It didn't matter anyway, because we were booked in at 221 San Francisco Street, which is just a few minutes walk from the Plaza of Arms, which is right in the city centre. The hostel where we stayed was behind a 50-seater restaurant. What was astonishing was that the kitchen was only 3 metres by 3 metres in size. Smells good. Our room was basic, but clean and comfortable.
The key for the door.
Padlock. Right.
I wonder how it opens on the inside. And you lock it on the inside.
Who knows?
Oh, does that go in there?
Hang on, I'll just shut this camera off and figure it out. The next challenge for us non-Spanish speaking tourists was to find some lunch. A couple of doors away was a Turkish restaurant, so we thought, Turkish food with a Peruvian twist. That would be interesting. What's that purple stuff? That doesn't look Turkish to me.
I don't know, it tastes nice. Like a cordial or something. It hasn't got a taste, I know.
It's got a gingery taste to it. Did you find out what that purple stuff was?
It says it's a sweet, refreshing, non-alcoholic beverage made from purple corn.
Purple corn? I didn't even know there was purple corn. After that experience, we decided to visit the Monasterio de Santa Catalina, just a few minutes walk from the restaurant. Entrance fees are about $17 per person, and the monastery even has its own website. This 20,000 square metre complex occupies a whole block and is a citadel within a city. Surrounded by imposing high walls, it's one of the most fascinating religious places in Peru. It was founded by a rich widow in 1580, Donna Maria de Guzman, who created this nunnery. In this wealthy environment, the nuns and priests lived a hedonistic life. The monastery was shrouded in mystery for 391 years, hence the sign Silence, and was finally opened to the public in 1970. Prior to that, This is how a nun would chat to their family.
This is how you would talk to anyone that came to visit you, your family or anyone like that.
Great.
Exactly. Great is right.
It is great, two greats. Would-be nuns were called novices, and they lived in this area for 4 years. When they finally did become nuns, they did things like artwork, and the Last Supper model still exists today. Next we visit one of the many chapels with its piano, made around about the year 1800.
I haven't heard you practice piano today yet.
Do that again.
Okay, it's Jenny.
Isn't this where you belong?
I reckon. Haven't seen one for a while.
The nuns' dwellings were called cells, these particular ones being built around 1600. Cells were traded between nuns, and nun Ana Zagara sold her cell to nun Genesa de Mendoza for 50 pesos. Some cells were a bit more upmarket, complete with ovens and toilets. The nuns of Santa Catalina were famous for their baking. This gallery has paintings of 13 famous nuns who lived between 1691 and 1884. The monastery has 6 streets named after Spanish cities, so we walked around them to view the various museums and rooms. 13 nuns live here currently, and I quote, "Our day starts at 5 a.m. and we pray starting from the praise of Jesus Eucharist, from our studies, doing manual work in order to win our daily bread. In every single moment we pray for the world and with the world. After more than 400 years, we are still here because of our contemplative vocation is love. This is our great secret of being happy, to be in love, neither with an ideal nor a project, but with Jesus Christ." Well, if you didn't understand that, as I didn't,
Wake up! Eat breakfast, practice piano, and you study.
it took us an hour to see all the things we wanted, which included parts of the monastery destroyed by earthquake, a bath, a Eucharist wafer, and a wafer making machine which I thought was a nutcracker used by nuns on priests. Anyway, a good time was had by all, and it was an interesting visit. Next we wandered down to the Plaza de Armas. The plaza showcases the city's Silla architecture and the cathedral. During Mass, tourists aren't allowed to visit the cathedral, and it being Christmas time there seem to be lots of masses. It was built in 1656, gutted by fire in 1844, so it was rebuilt. Then in 1868 it was flattened by an earthquake, so it was rebuilt again. In the 2001 earthquake, one of the towers fell over, so that was put back up too. It's the only cathedral in Peru that stretches the length of a plaza. Hey, I think we've just found our PA.
You can't send any,
I wonder if he does email on that.
yeah.
There'll be a Spanish keyboard too. I had to get some help to use the Spanish keyboard the other day. The plaza is full of shops as well as street sellers. Colonial Tours is the company that we were booked with for our Coca Canyon experiences. That's covered in parts 2 and 3 of our Arequipa episodes. Here's that purple corn that we were talking about earlier. I wouldn't mind a pee. Is there a toilet anywhere around here?
I noticed that just by the corner of the church over there, it always stinks of pee there, so it must be a pee toilet or pee house.
That must be the toilet over there.
I think it is.
Right.
It certainly smells like one.
As the main church was occupied, we called into one of the smaller churches in the plaza instead to have a look around. Later on that evening we went for a walk up one of the main shopping streets. Arequipa has a population of 864,000 and lies at an altitude of 7,700 feet. It nestles in a fertile valley under the perfect cone-shaped volcano of El Misti, which rises up 19,000 feet. The city, the second largest in Peru, is built in an area highly prone to natural disaster and has been totally destroyed by earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Big earthquakes happened in 1600, 1687, 1868, 1958, 1960 and 2001, but fortunately nothing happened in December 2012 when we were there. We did some more looking around and then a bit of window shopping and then walked to a restaurant just a few doors down from our hotel. So tonight we're going to go for the
Alpaca
and
Pisco Sour.
right. Have you ever had one before? It makes two of us then.
I had a guinea pig.
Right. And you got free mud butt with that as well.
Yeah, I think I did.
You're probably not sure.
Not sure.
Well, last week I never heard of Pisco Sour, let alone be able to spell it. And this week I'm going to drink one. So what is it like?
Hard to describe.
Is that right? And we're paying 18 sols for it, so it better be good.
Sour. A little bit sour.
What's it got in it?
I have no idea. I heard that if you knew what was in the ingredients, you'd think you wouldn't want to drink that because it doesn't sound very nice. I don't know what the ingredients are.
Well, it's definitely got lemon in it.
It definitely got a citrus taste.
Yeah, I wonder what those 3 dots on the top of the...
Yeah, I don't know.
I saw him put something on there, but don't know what it is. Have to do a net search later and find out what the contents are. The same thing with alpaca. Last week I'd never heard of alpaca or even was able to spell it. Now this week we're eating alpaca.
It's like cut into it.
Yeah, what is alpaca anyway? Llama, is it?
It's like a llama. Not as friendly as a llama, apparently. That's why you can eat it.
Right. What's the verdict so far?
It's nice and red. Let me try
Anything to write home about? Or should I say video home about?
Because it's done mignon style, you can taste the bacon. So it tastes a bit like bacon. Lovely and tender.
Good, yeah?
Could be beef, could be lamb. Tastes like bacon.
Well, judging from the empty plates here, can't have been too bad.
It was very nice.
It kind of has the texture of beef and the flavour of, well, it's hard to describe.
Kind of beefy in texture, like if you were having a piece of beef, but no cholesterol. The flavour is not as strong as beef. It's definitely not like lamb.
No, it's got no lamb.
Not a long
flavour at all.
Strong flavour like lamb. More delicate flavour, not like pork, but somewhere between pork and beef.
Chicken maybe.
Maybe chicken, yeah. It doesn't taste like chicken though.
No, definitely not.
It's not a flavour we've tried before.
No.
But certainly very nice. Not like venison either. Not
No,
strong
nothing like it.
venison, a nice delicate flavour. I enjoyed it. So,
Yeah. If you want to find out what it's like, you just got to come to Peru.
yeah.
That's the
Either
main.
that or go out to Albany and get yourself an alpaca.
They got them out there, have they?
Yeah,
What, they offer them on the menu or what?
they're running around. I think they use them for the wool rather than the meat, but who knows, it might come one day. They use them for the meat, especially if it's cholesterol free. People will be into that.
Well, after drinking that Pisco Sour, I'm just going to stagger back home. Fortunately, the hotel is only about 3 doors down the road, if I can make it that far.
It's funny because I haven't noticed it. It's weird.
Yeah, this stuff's so powerful, I'm just about to fall asleep or fall on the floor.
Strange.
Yeah, and I haven't had all of it yet either.
No. Perhaps that's my problem. I haven't drunk enough yet.
You're only half done.
That might be it.
Yeah. Whereas I'm half cut. Still haven't figured out the language here. I think they regard us as very old because they call me senior. They say, "Si senior."
No, they don't.
What do they say then?
They say senior.
What do they say?
They say si senor.
Si senor. Yeah, I know I'm a senior. And they call Lily and Rita. They say si senorita. We haven't quite figured out the difference between senora and senorita yet, but I'm sure we'll get there. Do you feel it?
That's what I put my finger up for.
Okay, so still a lot of things to things to get used to. First of all, they call me Mr. Steve. I don't know why they do that, but they did that in India and in China as well. They call me Mr. Steve.
Senor Steve.
Yeah, Senor Steve. I don't know why they do that, but they do. This is another one of the mysteries of Peru, which will probably never be answered, in my mind anyway. It's a great restaurant. There's only 2 customers here from New Zealand, come all the way from New Zealand.
It's because it's Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
They'll all be doing nice things like going to Christmas Mass tonight.
Yeah, we should go to Mass, eh? Just for a change.
Time to go to church. Midnight Mass.
Come on, get out of bed. It's time to go to church.
Christmas Eve.
Doesn't sound like pan flutes.
Makes a change. I hope it doesn't go on till midnight.
Better not. The next morning, after breakfast, we left for the Colca Canyon and returned to Arequipa 3 days later. Although it was still shorts and jandals weather, the mountains had had some snowfall. We decided to walk over to a residential area to get a better view of the mountains and came across a demonstration. Demonstrations in Peru are common due to poor government.
Estamos saliendo. Dentro de 10 minutos estamos saliendo al cumplir
And now, time for some lunch. Back to our favourite Turkish restaurant in Peru. Adana Kebab. I've been to Adana. What have you got there?
Hamburger and rice and some chips.
What is it?
Hamburger.
Right.
Spicy.
That evening we relaxed in our basic hostel room, then went to a local fast food court for dinner and had some pizza and Inca Kola. Inca Kola is owned by Coca-Cola and tastes like bubble gum with 50% sugar. After that, we went back to the hostel to say goodbye to our hard-working hosts and took a cab to the bus station and headed on to Nazca. A big thanks goes to Manuel Messias for playing the song Without You. One of my favourite songs is also known by the title Ken Lee.
Ken Lee.
Ken Lee?
Да.
Да не става въпрос за Without You.
Не.
Давайте.
No one can to save me. No young clista jo malive. Where I geza jo zabatena lecho mo. New onus tonight molinai. Yon sora show. Yes, he show. Can to live without you. I can't live. I can't give anymore. Can't live to live without you. Can't live with you more.
Това на какъв език беше?
На английски.